Hey guys, got a little info now on this. This is an '07 Sebring with a 2.7 on the alternator removal. I have not done one of these. I've done the, I think about to 04, 05, I can't remember, on the 2.7. They are different. For the most part, they're similar, but this one's a little more tricky as far as they're on the older ones. There's a little bit of room down in here that you can weasel this out. So I mean, aside from all the rest of the normal battles with this thing, you know, basically you have to, I found out I have two different professional repair guides, and both of those basically gave a real small time guide to get this done. I think they were mistaken, because when I looked up the procedure, it didn't even show this this air conditioning line that's right in the way. On the older ones, this air conditioning high pressure line actually goes in a different direction. I've got this one off. So the first thing you usually have to do on this one is recover the refrigerant, which I've already done. But anyway, this line here that hooks over right over in this area, I've got all of this stuff disassembled right now, but this line hooks to the condenser right here, and you can see that it sits right above the alternator, and this part is rigid, so there's really no room, you know, between this line and the valve cover to get that out. So the only other option is to remove the compressor down below, which is, you know, twice as much work, or remove this crossover. On the newer ones, there's a lot more involved with these fans to get these out of there to give you more room here. So I have a recovery machine, so I just did it this way, and all it took was removing the refrigerant and then moving this line out of the way. And then it opens this up, this area here. It's still tight, but it does come out of there with that line out, so you have to remove that line. The other thing that's different is this belt adjuster on these is a tensioner. It's a spring tensioner, and it has a 3/8 square drive on it that you just hook a belt tool or you know, whatever you have. I did it from up here and pushed it up. You know, you push up on the tensioner, and that releases this belt from the alternator. The old tensioners were kind of a slot device that slid up and down, and so that's different. Then the other thing is this lower bolt. There's two bolts. The alternator sits basically like this. When you get the wires off, there's the battery wire and then this other plug here. There's two up here. You take the bottom one out first, and it kind of sits down. You can't really see it. It sits underneath the alternator, and it's right above this alternator, or this compressor bracket. And I can get the stuff I had here. All right, sorry folks, I'm trying to throw this together just to give you a few pointers, but I wasn't really prepared to make a video. But anyway, what I used is a 3/8 3-inch extension with a short 13mm socket, and that extension has that universal, the wobbly type joint, so that it gives this socket a little bit of wiggle room, because this lower bolt down here is so close to that bracket. It's kind of at an angle, and it's really hard to get in there with any kind of if you use a deep socket, it's almost too big, because the big socket hits down in here. So this worked pretty good for me, and it puts it kind of right out beyond the alternator, where you can get just get a ratchet on it. But the way I did it, it's no matter how it's just really tough to do it no matter what you do. So what I did is I stuck this on the bolt. Naturally, the alternator's in there, so you're kind of just feeling for that bolt head. And I got this 6-point socket stuck on there, and I just kind of left it hanging. Then what I did is took this. I have a torque wrench here that's about, I'm going to say it's probably, maybe 2 feet long, and it's good because it works good in places that are hard to get to and get your hands in. So what I did is if you put your hand down here on this side with the ratchet, down over here near this cooling fan that's on the driver's side, you can see how far away I am from where the bolt actually is. And what that does is it allows you to get the right angle on that socket that I just showed you a minute ago that I don't have in there right now. The socket was actually resting on the bolt, so you kind of have to feather this in there, get the ratchet on it, and then that gives you enough room over here to pull it up and break it loose and ratchet that thing loose enough till you can get it off by hand. Otherwise, it's nearly impossible to get an air ratchet or a ratchet and your hand right down here, because it's so low against this frame and it's that kind of an angle going down. It's just really difficult to do anything with it right there. So, you know, that was the way I did it. And like I said, it's a wrestling match anyway with these, but that's what got the lower bolt out. Once you get that out, these top two are fairly easy. And then, you know, take the dipstick tube loose. There's one bolt holding this dipstick tube right over here on the exhaust manifold. And if you just take that bolt out, and it allows this tube to just move a little bit because it's still tight, getting that alternator up between this valve cover and the cooling fan. But you know, you wiggle it enough. I did this one with the pulley up, and I kind of had it rotated with this battery stud kind of towards the front of the engine, because it seemed like it was always right in the way. But once you get to this point, you can get it out of there. Just be careful, you know, you don't crack that valve cover, and you can get it out of there. So anyway, I thought I'd share that information with you. I'm sorry it was so so wiggly on the video. I just did it kind of on the spur of the moment, so I hope that helps you out. Thanks for watching.